Shalom. I want to start off by giving all honor and glory to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone, every well. Peace and blessings to the elect of Israel. Shalom. I just want to touch on how major persecution is going to come. You know, we are going to be the men of the Lord. Lord willing, we be a part of that number. All right, the men of the Lord will be persecuted, man. Okay. However, Yahawah Basham is going to defend us in that day. All right, as well, the Lord is going to watch over us in that day, man. All right, and a part of Him watching over us is what? He's going to speak for us, man. He's going to talk for us. All right, and why is that important to know that the Lord is going to speak for us? Let's get the scripture. Matthew chapter 10. I'll start at verse 16. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Alright? The Lord has given us His wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. You know, so we know how to conduct ourselves, man. Alright, a part of conducting ourselves when we're out and about, whether we're out amongst, you know, people of the world, okay, or even amongst the brethren. All right, you have to be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove, man. All right, and let's keep reading, verse 17. But beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils. Right, the scriptures talk about walking circumspectly. All right, HALALYAM YAHAWAH. That's in Ephesians, okay, if I'm not mistaken. Ephesians 5, the Wadi YAHAWAH. Ephesians 5 and 15. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. Right, we have to be wise, man. All right, we have to walk circumspectly. That's why the scripture said what? But beware of men, okay? So you got to watch out for your surroundings, you know, watch the people who you're around, okay? And then watch out where you are, you know, as well being circumspect within the faith, within the spirit, you know, basically watching for yourself, making sure that you're in the spirit, you know, watching for the prophecies, watching for the flock. All right, there's plenty of things to watch for. All right, redeeming the time because the days are evil. Right, and how do we redeem the time? 2 Ezra 9 and 1. Measure thou the time that's diligently within itself. Roughly paraphrasing, you know. So we redeem the time by watching out for the prophecies, man. All right, and Esau redeems the time because he knows he has a short time, man. That's why they have something called a doomsday clock, you know. But we redeem the time on the right-hand side by way of the spirit and power of Yahawah Basham. Revelation 19 and 10 tells you what? That Yahawah is the spirit of prophecy. All right, nevertheless, let me finish off on this. Ephesians 5 and 16. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. Right, you gotta be understanding what the will of the Lord is, man. Because you know you're gonna have some people who might get proud and be like, man, fuck that, man. I don't need to worry about these niggas, man. Yahawah Basham got me. Yeah, that's true. Yahawah Basham got us. You know, Lord willing, we be a part of the elect. But the scriptures talk about not tempting the Lord. You know what I mean? And like I said, beware of men. So even the scriptures tell you to beware of men. No, we don't fear them at the end of the day. You know, fear not them which can kill the body, as we're going to read about that, Lord's will. But still got to be circumspect, man. All right, you want to follow. You want to have a good conscience, man. You know what I mean? And I say that meaning you did what you did all that you could do, you know, to have a good conscience and be like, you know what, Lord, I tried my best. You know what I mean? Try to be what you wanted me to be to the best of my abilities, you know? And you know what the best of your abilities are, man. All right, each and every individual brother out there or sister, so on and so forth. All right, you know what the best of your ability is. Anyways, Matthew 10 and verse 17. But beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues. Right, so we're going to be delivered up to the councils, scourged in their synagogues, like their, you know, their courthouses, so on and so forth, man. Jailhouses, makeshift FEMA camps, you know. Verse 18, and ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. Right, and this happened before, all right? This happened before with the apostles, all right? But now it's going to happen again. That's why it says in Romans 15:4, things written aforetime were written for our learning. Verse 19, but when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in that same hour what ye shall speak. That's right. Okay? So the Lord is going to speak for us, man. You know, and it's comforting to know that, because, you know, in certain situations, I'll speak off experience, like, you know, when you're in trouble and, you know, you got to go meet up with your mom or your dad or whatever. You know, they're like, you know, come see me after school or whatever. You know, and you're like, all right, damn, what am I going to say? You're trying to put your story together, you know, trying to say the right things, but guess what? What does Scripture say? You know, take no thought what you shall speak. All right? Why? Because the Lord's going to give us the spirit to speak in that day, man. Okay? And this has to be addressed. You know, this is all a part of prophecy. All right? This is Sirach 51, I'll start at verse 1. I will thank thee, O Lord and King, and praise thee, O YAHAWASHI, my Savior. I do give praise unto thy name, for thou art my defender and helper, and hast preserved my body from destruction, and from the snare of the slanderous tongue. Right, because they're gonna have a slanderous tongue, man. They're gonna be using ad hominem attacks upon us as well, you know, and they're gonna be basically setting up a false narrative, man. And that's why it's so important for us to walk circumspectly, wise as serpents, harmless as a dove, because we don't want to give Babylon no ammo. All right, we want them to persecute us for righteousness' sake. We don't want them to persecute us because we was acting like a nigga. You know what I mean? Don't give Babylon any ammo. You know what I'm saying? And speaking to myself first and foremost. Verse 2, for thou art my defender and helper, and hast preserved my body from destruction, and from the snare of the slanderous tongue, and from the lips that forge lies. Right? Esau is known as the accuser of our brethren. All right? It says, it has been my helper against mine adversaries. All right? And has delivered me according to the multitude of thy mercies and greatness of thy name, from the teeth of them that were ready to devour me. Right? Teeth is talking about Esau's military force, man. Okay? And you're going to have these Gurkha troops, these FEMA troops, these UN troops, so on and so forth. All right? The police are going to start cracking down. The draconian laws are already being issued and measured. All right? You can't even go into a simple store without a face mask, you know? And these Babylonians, they're getting fed up about, these Babylonians are getting fed up about it, even though they're very docile, all right? But still, okay, it's only going to get worse, man, all right? I'm gonna continue where I left off. From the teeth of them that were ready to devour me, out of the hands of such as sought after my life. Right, and some of the men of the Lord, well, all of Israel, Esau's going to seek after their life, man, all right? Like the brother brought out a beautiful precept in his camp lesson. Lamentations 4 and 18, you know, they hunt our steps, man. Our persecutors are swifter than eagles. Hey, they did that in the past, and they're getting ready to do it again, man. All right, it says what? They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. They're going to roll on all Israel, man. All right, the 1/3 and the 2/3. But the Lord said, what about the 1/3? That the 1/3 is going to be brought through the fire, and they're going to call upon his name, and the Lord will hear them, man. All right, that's Zechariah 13 and 9. You know, so that's the difference. And out of the hands of such as sought after my life, and from the manifold afflictions which I had, from the choking of fire on every side, and from the midst of the fire which I kindled not. Right, and that fire is talking about your tongue, all right, because James, the 3rd chapter, I'll get it for the sake of edification. All right, the scriptures say, let me just read it. James 3 and 5, even so the tongue, a little member, even so the tongue is a little member, and boasteth great things. Behold, how great a matter a little fire kindleth. Right, so that fire in Sirach 51 is talking about Esau's tongue, his slandering, all right? And some of them, well, a lot of us are going to be persecuted and slandered, man. All right, you never know, you might see your picture on CNN, you know, local terrorists, you know, of the black Hebrew Israelites, quote unquote. You know, these are the times where... All right, Shalom. Keep reading. Sirach 51 and 5. From the depth of the belly of hell, from an unclean tongue, and from lying words. The wicked are estranged from the womb. You know, they go about speaking lies, roughly paraphrasing. You know, it's talking about Esau. Okay. My soul drew near even unto death. My life was near to the hell beneath. Right, hell meaning the grave. Okay. They compassed me on every side, and there was no man to help me. I looked for the succor of men, but there was none. Right, that's why the scriptures say what? Cursed be the man that trusteth in man. You know, we don't put our trust in man. We put our trust in YAHAWASHI. That's why it says what? The Lord's truth shall be thy shield and buckler. That's the succor, man. That would be our form of support. The truth of YAHAWASHI. And notice also it said what? It said what? And there was no man to help me. Okay? You never know. You might be in a time in Jacob's trouble where a brother might not be there. A brother might not be there for you. You know, you got to bear your own burden. You know what I mean? The scriptures do say bear each other's burdens. You know, but at the end of the day, you got to work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. That's what bouncing off the point that I made earlier, saying you got to bear your own burden, man. Like YAHAWASHI had to carry that cross. You know, he did have help. Someone helped him a little bit along the way. I believe it was Simon. All right, but nevertheless, guess what? YAHAWASHI still had to bear that cross, man. All right, Simon may have helped him, but he didn't bear it himself like YAHAWASHI did, even though through the Spirit, all right, which, you know, speaking through the Spirit, that's what we got to do. Through the Spirit, we got to bear our cross, man. Okay? You know, and that comes with fighting off this flesh, fighting off the temptations to do, you know, wicked things, so on and so forth, man. You know, fighting to be more in the Spirit as well, because that's also a battle. To be in the Spirit. Just to be in the Spirit alone is a fight, you know, much less fighting off your flesh, you know. So that's that's another way of us bearing our own cross. And also, what's heavy about that is what? The night before, before YAHAWASHI got arrested, he said what? You know, will you guys just watch and pray? You know, for 1 hour, you won't just watch and pray with me? You know? But why? The Lord put the spirit of deep sleep upon them. Because why? YAHAWASHI had to bear it alone. He had to bear that alone, man. All right? So it's the same thing with us. You know, that's why we need to build up our relationship with YAHAWASHI and our faith. Speaking of myself first and foremost, man, because there might come a time where you don't got a brother with you, man. So what you gonna do? You know? Hey, can you look this up in the blue letter? Nah, man. That might not be a time where you even have your phone. You know? Scripture said we're gonna be as pilgrims upon the earth, man. You know? So it's really important we build up in the faith and in the wisdom, the knowledge, and understanding of YAHAWASHI, as well as building up an intimate relationship with the Lord, man, because that's very important. All right? Verse 8, Then I thought upon thy mercies, O Lord, and upon thy acts of old, how thou deliverest such as wait for thee, and savest them out of the hand of the enemies. Right? All right, now I could keep reading, but I want to make this brief. Matthew 10 and verse 20. For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. Right. The Most High is going to speak for us in that day, man. Okay. The Most High speaks for us when we do this work. You know, He speaks for us from our day to day. You know what I mean? So how much more will He speak for us in that day? You know what I'm saying? Scripture say a soft answer the tongue basically like turns away strife, roughly paraphrasing. You know, and the scriptures also talk about speaking with salt. All right. This is Matthew 10 and 21. And the brother shall deliver the brother to death, and the father the child, and the children shall rise against their parents and cause them to be put to death. Right. And then these times are coming, man. All right. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth to the end shall be saved. Okay? There we go. You know, that's the point, man. And I'm going to get a few more precepts proving that the Lord is going to speak for us. And I'll close out, Lord's will. Proverbs 16 and 1. The preparations of the heart in man, and the answer of the tongue is from the Lord Yahawah, BAHASHAM. So the preparations of the heart in man, meaning the things you thought to say, and the action of you saying it is of the Lord, man. It's from the Lord. Okay, the Lord is going to speak for us in that time. You know what I mean? And this all came up through the Spirit, you know. fellowshipping, man. Fellowshipping is a beautiful thing, man. You know, yesterday, the brothers, we all had a fellowship, and it was continuing off what I said. Yeah, we was fellowshipping, man, and, you know, when you fellowshipping, we all freestyling, you know, and I'm talking about spiritually, okay? Spiritually freestyling, meaning we're having holy conversation. We're going through the scriptures, okay? And throughout us doing that, you know, the Spirit hops on you, you know? Like scriptures talk about the company of prophets. When Saul walked up to the company of prophets and the spirit of prophecy hopped onto him. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing, man. Okay, we all just all in one spirit, you know? So the Spirit was coming and I was just writing lessons down, and this is something that came up through the Spirit. This is Luke 21 and verse 15. I'll start at verse 14. Luke 21 and 14. Settle it therefore in your hearts, not to meditate before what ye shall answer. Okay, right? So Lord's like, make sure you, hey, listen, don't be thinking about what you're gonna answer, man. Just know I got you. Verse 15. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. All right. So the Lord is going to speak for us, man, and they're not going to be able to gainsay nor resist what we say. You know, that's why they're going to have to come up with a slanderous tongue, you know, to persecute us, so on and so forth. The brothers that may be taking part in that lot, you know. Lord, will we be of the elect, you know? At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? And it's an honorable thing to die for YAHAWASHI. Scripture say, precious is the death of all his saints, man. Roughly paraphrasing. This is John. John 14 and 10. It says, believest thou not that I am in the Father, and the Father in me? The words that I speak unto you, I speak not of myself, but the Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works. All right? There you go. Okay, so this was Yahawashi who said that, but guess what? In John 17, all right? Well, matter of fact, you can go to John 15. John 15 and verse 4. Abide in me, and in, it says, abide in me, and I, it says, and in you, and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself except it abide in the vine, no more can ye except ye abide in me. So the point I'm trying to say is, if we're in Yahawashi, then that means that we're in the Most High through Yahawashi, okay? Because Yahawashi said the Father is in me, and I and the Father are on one accord, pretty much. Let me read it again. All right? It says what? I speak not of myself, John 14 and 10. Believest thou not that I am in the Father, and the Father in me? Right, Yahawashi is in the Father, and the Father is in him. The Most High Spirit is in Yahawashi. Okay, so the same thing with YAHAWASHI, his spirit, their spirit is in us. Lord, will we be a part of the elect through Yahawashi's sacrifice? Okay, because it said how Yahawashi broke down that middle wall of partition, meaning he was basically our mediator. He brought us back to the peace. He brought us back at peace with the Most High. Okay. Because we were so wicked, the Lord turned his back on us, man. All right? And rightfully so. But he had mercy on us and gave us this knowledge. Now let me go ahead and get another one real quick. John 17. I'll start at verse, oh, man. You could really start at verse 9, but I'm just going to get straight to the point. John 17, and I'll start at verse 16. They are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. Sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is truth. As thou hast sent me into the world, even so have I also sent them into the world. Right, so we're coming in the same spirit. Like Yahawashi said, the words that I speak not of myself, but the Father, he doeth it. You know, he speaks for me. Okay, so it's the same thing for us. All right. It says, verse 19, and for their sakes I sanctify myself, that they also might be sanctified through the truth. Neither pray I for these alone, but for them also which shall believe on me through their word. Right, which is the rest of the 1/3. Okay. Verse 21, that they all may be one, as thou, Father, art in me, and I in thee. Right, so proving that, just like how, you know, it said in John, the 14th chapter and the 10th verse, Okay, it's the same thing for us. That applies to us, and this scripture proves it. Okay, because we're in Yahawashi, Yahawashi is in the Most High is in Yahawashi, Yahawashi is in us, man. See how it all comes back together? All right. That they all may be one, as thou, Father, art in me, and I in thee. That they also may be one in us, that the world may believe that thou hast sent me. John 17:22. And the glory which thou gavest me, I have given them, that they may be one, even as we are one. Okay, I in them, and thou in me, and that they may be made perfect in one, and that the world may know that thou hast sent me and hast loved them, and thou hast loved me. Okay, that's right. Okay, that's the point, man. You know, that's the point. I'm gonna skip on that because the point has been made. You know, let me get this real quick, and I'll close out, Lord willing. John 16. I'll start at verse 1. It says, "These things have I spoken unto you, that ye should not be offended. They shall put you out of the synagogues. Yea, the time cometh that whosoever killeth you will think that he doeth the Most High service." Right? Because the Lord, hey, that's the times we're coming into, man. You know, same way like how when they were persecuting the apostles back then and the church back then. Apostle Paul, perfect example. He thought he was doing the Most High service by persecuting the church, Yahawashi. So it's the same thing now. You're going to have people coming in that same spirit. Nevertheless, Paul did repent, but it's just to make a point, okay? And that applies to Paul at that time, you know? But it's going to happen again. John 16 and verse 3. "And these things they will do unto you, because they have not known the Father nor me." But and that's a good point, saying that applies to Paul back then, even though, like I said, Paul did repent. It says what? They have not known the Father nor me. When Paul got knocked off the horse, he said, you know, "Saul, Saul, you know, why kickest thou against the pricks?" And he said, what? "Who art thou, Lord?" He said, "Who art thou?" Meaning what? He didn't know who Yahawashi was. That proves to you he did not know Yahawashi at that time. The Spirit of the Lord wasn't upon him at that time. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that the Apostle Paul is not a man of the Lord. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying to back up the point that I made through the Spirit. Okay? But these things have I told you, that when the time shall come, ye may remember that I told you of them. And these things I said not unto you at the beginning, because I was with you. All right? So the point is, the persecution will come. You know, major persecution is coming. But the Lord Yahweh BAHASHAM is going to speak for us, man. You know, so Lord's will, this video is edifying. I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh BAHASHAM. Double honors to the elders and apostles, the great millstone, the well. Peace and blessings to the elect Israel. Shalom and a Baba.